there has been allegations that have come to light surrounding Chris, and these allegations have been made by a 16-year-old girl.
The father of the Ingham family had been very inappropriate with them, not only in person but also on social media.
Well, apparently, allegedly, the father in the family, Chris Ingham, well, he's a fucking creep.
You have to remember, the truth always comes out.
YouTube family vlog channels, arguably the most pleasant of all the genres. Is there anything more wholesome and endearing than placing your whole personal life on display for the entire world to see? What could go wrong, right? Shoving a camera on your child's face and adding cute, lighthearted music to your family vacation at Disneyland in an effort to generate a passionate fandom that will blindly consume any and all watered-down content you so happen to feed them? A genius business model, no doubt, and an easy way to make your life appear seemingly perfect. But sometimes, the pretty pictures showcased on camera hardly reflect the murky happenings that occur when the cameras cease to roll. I'm sure you've seen this play out at least a few dozen times by now. One of your favorite creators, comedians, or dare I say Nickelodeon producers gets hit with a multitude of incriminating allegations that suggest they weren't near as ethical as they initially made themselves out to be. It's a cycle we've all witnessed time and time again, no community being excluded. So really, it was only a matter of time before the online vlogging community got hit. In case you're like me and aren't quite up to speed with the Ingham family lore, they're a pretty popular channel with over 1 million subscribers and 350 million views. They pretty much just make daily vlogs showcasing their kids and family outings, I guess. I've noticed they spend a considerable amount of time at hotels, and well, that'll start to make sense here in a second. This cast is made up of 5 main characters, Chris being the father, married to Sarah, with their 3 daughters, who we won't be talking much about as they're frankly irrelevant to the rest of the story. Unfortunately, we won't be touching upon their wholesome and easily monetizable content today, as I'm sure that'd make for a very boring and uneventful experience. Instead, my grievances are a bit more personal. See, this train wreck all started back in October of 2017, but has only come to light over the past month. A young fan by the name of Jess put up a post in early July describing her alleged interactions with the family. According to her tweet, the Inghams happened to be staying at Disney World Orlando at the same time as her own family. After finding this out, she excitedly messaged Chris on Twitter asking if they could meet up once they arrived in Florida. He obliged and Jess was thrilled. She couldn't wait to finally meet one of her favorite YouTubers in the flesh. And at first, it all went fine. They took pictures, hugged, the works. He was even so kind as to post them to his Instagram, Twitter, and make the picture his channel Avi. It was safe to say things were going well for both parties. But unfortunately, it kind of took a weird turn.
He messaged me multiple times saying how I was so beautiful and pretty and asking me why I didn't have loads of boyfriends at home. He then kept asking me if I could sneak out of my family's hotel room to go for walks with him between midnight and 2 AM. And then he said how he was going to come to my hotel room for a party. He said how we should sneak into the pool when it's closed and how I was contemplating going skinny dipping.
So essentially, you have this 34-year-old married father of 3 constantly messaging a 16-year-old girl late into the night every night asking if she would join him on his walks around the complex at 2 in the morning, and then wanting to skinny dip with a minor! Now, if you get into the minutia, it could be a lot worse. Back home in England, the age of consent is 16, so it wouldn't be much of an issue there. Incredibly creepy, but not illegal. However, this is America, and the age of consent in Florida happens to be 18, so yes, assuming this is true, Chris could easily face plenty of serious repercussions for saying the heinous things that he allegedly did. But of course, with any new allegations cropping up, the possibility always remains. What if she's lying? Needless to say, with a fan base as big as the Inghams, Jess has faced her own fair share of doubters, which understandably so. When there's an unprecedented amount of real Me Too accusations on the rise, you're gonna have your fair share of fake ones as well. Because unfortunately, we live in a world where frivolous character assassinations are not hard to come by. The truth then boils down to weeding out the lies amongst the truth, which is and should be judged on a case-by-case basis. And in this case, if Jess is lying, she's doing a damn good job. Regrettably, the Twitter convo itself is now gone as she swiftly deleted it after 40-year-old Leafy creeped her the fuck out. But she does have the emails archived from when the DMs were sent. You can kind of see what was said here, and it really doesn't do much justice to Chris's side of things. And just in case you think there was some clever Photoshop at play, Jess posted a video scrolling through her emails, clicking on the message, which then takes us to Chris's Twitter profile that she's since been blocked from. That's a big ol' yikes right there. I tend to keep an open mind with these kinds of things, but frankly, I have no idea how you could fake something like that. There was also a second victim that came forward preceding Jess's story, a 19-year-old by the name of Bella Fern. They met at a hotel she worked at and snapped each other pretty regularly. According to Bella's testimony, Chris sent a rather demented picture of himself on Snapchat in reply to a selfie she shared. Apparently she was wearing a towel or some shit, but that just wasn't enough for Chris, I guess. He's just never satisfied, is he? That dog. I'd say it's looking really bad for this dude right now. The evidence is piling up and the police have been notified. You'd think that the family would take a hiatus for a bit, maybe lay low and wait for the controversy to die down, but no, there's money to be made. Chris's talent agency had originally posted a statement to Twitter when the story came out, but quickly deactivated his account, which is more than slightly suspicious if you ask me. Besides that, the rest of the family seems to be operating as normal, as if nothing happened, even trying to spice up their content a little, it seems. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little shocked to see Chris got a surprise tattoo of his wife's name in the middle of all this, along with a pregnancy announcement. I mean, the timing really couldn't have been worse, could it? I've seen some speculation that the tattoo and pregnancy announcement were deliberately revealed at this time as a diversion from the scandal, which to me is a bit of a reach, but it's not outside the realm of possibility, I guess. I say this because the rest of their handling of the situation has been poor at best. Again, besides the occasional comment on Instagram or YouTube, and nobody has really addressed anything. You'd think that if these allegations were faked, Chris and Sarah would come out vehemently opposing Jess and Bella, but even a month after coming forward, they still haven't said anything of the sort. I understand that what's private is private and they're not allowed to disclose much, especially if an investigation is underway, but the audience still has a right to know what's already public, and from my perspective at least, they're trying as best they can to sweep it all under the rug. Taking down videos, being defensive, and of course hiding behind their legal team only makes them appear more guilty. Of course, at the end of the day, there's no way for me to truly know whether or not these allegations are true, as I am not directly involved in the situation. I can't pretend like I know for certain what's factual and what isn't, but I still have my opinion. There's just no way you can convince me he didn't do this. Even if this was completely made up, there's just nothing for a 16-year-old girl to gain here. I don't understand why she would feel the need to assassinate Chris's reputation, especially when she's always claimed to be such a fan. She's been blocked by every Twitter account they own, so either they really hate all the lies she's spreading, or she's actually speaking the truth and they can't afford to have their good name tarnished in such a cataclysmic and embarrassing fashion. Now, if the news does break that it's all been fabricated, then I will be the first to say that I was wrong. As messed up as it is, people have actually lied about this stuff in the past, and it really does delegitimize the actual victims who come forward with actual accusations, which is why we also shouldn't be quick to discredit the victim's story either. So presuming Jess is being sincere, she deserves the utmost respect and support for being so brave as to come clean about it all. Grooming is a disgusting phenomenon, and I not only hurt for the victims, but also the Ingham children who have been looped into this situation by proxy. I can only imagine what kind of example this sets for them, and for their own sake, I do really hope that it's all nothing more than a mere fabrication. Though at this point, I really doubt it. Even if you disagree with me and think I suck and that it's all fake, feel free to let me know why in the comments. I'll be sure and read as many as I can before Chris inevitably strikes this video down, making all of my editing and research an utter waste of time. God, I love YouTube.
Keep on, keep on.